All right, listen up. Love, connection, energy, it's a powerful thing. And sometimes, just sometimes, you don't even have to say a word because you both feel it. That unspoken language, that invisible pull, that connection that says, I see you, I feel you, I'm thinking about you. But how do you know? How do you know if they're thinking about you too? Let me break it down. Number one, you randomly think about them and then boom, they call, they text, they show up in some way. That's not coincidence. That's energy, that's connection. Number two, you dream about them. Not once, not twice, consistently. That means your subconscious is speaking to you. And guess what? If they tell you they've been dreaming about you too, oh, now we're talking about something deep. Number three, you feel their emotions even when they're not around. You ever just sit there minding your business and suddenly you feel this wave of sadness or joy or something unexplainable? That's because energy travels, and if they're on your mind, you might just be on theirs. Number four, you keep running into their name, their favorite song, their scent, little reminders of them everywhere you go. That's the universe tapping you on the shoulder, saying, hey, pay attention. Number five, when you're together, time just disappears. Hours feel like minutes. Conversations flow like water. You look up and realize you don't want it to end. That's alignment. That's chemistry. Number six, you both start mirroring each other. Same words, same gestures, even the same thoughts at the same time. That's not just a cute little coincidence. That's a sign of a deep mental and emotional connectio. Have you ever found yourself lost in thought about someone only for them to suddenly call or send you a message? It feels like a strange coincidence, doesn't it? But let me tell you something. Coincidences like that don't just happen for no reason. There's something deeper at play, something beyond what we can see with our eyes. It's called synchronicity, a phenomenon where two people's thoughts and actions align in ways that seem almost supernatural. It's not just a random event. It's a sign of a strong, unseen connection. And if you find yourself experiencing this kind of synchronicity with someone, you need to stop and pay attention. Our thoughts are powerful. Science tells us that energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. That means every time you think about someone intensely, every time your mind is filled with thoughts of them, that energy goes somewhere. And sometimes, just sometimes, it reaches that person. That's why you think of them and suddenly your phone lights up with their name. That's why out of nowhere they mention something you were just thinking about. This is more than chance. This is a direct reflection of the invisible forces that bind people together. And the stronger the connection, the more frequent and undeniable these moments become. It's not just about phone calls or text messages either. Think about the times you've been sitting somewhere lost in your thoughts, and suddenly you feel their presence before they even walk into the room. It's as if your mind is already tuned in to their frequency, picking up on their energy before your eyes even see them. You might be in the middle of a conversation with someone else, but your attention shifts, your heart speeds up, and before you even turn around, you know they're there. That's how deep the connection runs. You're not just sharing words or moments, you're sharing an entire wavelength. And let's talk about those times when you and this person say the exact same thing at the exact same time. It's almost eerie, right? You'll be in mid-conversation, and suddenly you both blurt out the same phrase or thought, like your minds are wired together. That's not just a fun little coincidence. That's evidence of how in sync you both are. It means your subconscious minds are moving at the same pace, thinking the same things without even trying. And the stronger the bond, the more often it happens. This is why some people can finish each other's sentences or respond to an unspoken thought before it's even voiced. Synchronicity doesn't just stop at words. It extends to actions as well. Have you ever found yourself making a decision that, later on, you realize aligns perfectly with theirs? Maybe you randomly decided to visit a place, only to find them there. Or you were about to reach out to them only for them to beat you to it. These moments aren't accidents. They're reflections of a shared mental and emotional state. It's like the universe is constantly pushing you both toward each other, aligning your actions in ways that neither of you can control but both of you can feel. And let's not forget dreams. Sometimes synchronicity shows up in your sleep. Have you ever had a vivid dream about someone, only for them to mention the next day that they were thinking about you? Or even crazier, they had a dream about you too? That's because your subconscious minds are connected in ways you can't even begin to understand. Dreams are not just random images. They are reflections of our deepest emotions and thoughts. So when two people share a connection, their minds can communicate in ways that defy logic, sending messages through the space of dreams that neither person even realizes are happening. The truth is, when two people think about each other, the universe has a way of making it known. It's in the way their thoughts align, the way their actions reflect each other, the way their lives keep crossing paths. This is not something you can force, and it's not something you can fake. It's either there or it's not. And when it is, when that synchronicity keeps pulling you toward the same person again and again, you need to recognize it for what it is. Because connections like this, they don't come around often. Dreams are one of the most mysterious experiences of human life. They are fragments of our subconscious, a mirror reflecting the deepest corners of our thoughts and emotions. But what happens when the same person keeps appearing in your dreams? Not once, not twice, but over and over again. That is no ordinary dream. That is your mind trying to tell you something that you might not even be fully aware of when you're awake. And when this happens with someone specific, when their face keeps showing up in your unconscious world, it's a sign, a powerful one, that they occupy more space in your mind than you realize. Now let's flip it. What if that person tells you they've been dreaming about you too? That's where things get interesting, because when two people share a deep mental and emotional connection, their subconscious minds start communicating in ways that defy logic. It's as if, even when you're asleep, a piece of you is reaching out to them, and they're reaching back. This isn't just a random occurrence. It's synchronicity at work. It's proof that your energies are intertwined, that your thoughts are not just your own, but part of a greater shared experience. But let's go deeper. It's not just that you're dreaming about each other. It's how you're dreaming about each other. Are these dreams vivid? Do they feel more real than a typical dream? Do you wake up feeling like you were just with them, like their presence still lingers around you? If so, then that's not just any dream. That's a message. Maybe your mind is trying to process unspoken emotions. Maybe your heart is whispering something that your waking self is too afraid to admit. Or maybe, just maybe, there is something bigger at play, something pulling you toward each other beyond the realm of reality. And here's the thing. Dreams often reveal what we suppress. During the day, you might distract yourself with work, with responsibilities, with all the noise of life. But when you sleep, when the world around you fades away, your true feelings emerge. If this person keeps showing up in your dreams, it's because they are deeply ingrained in your thoughts, in your emotions, in the spaces of your mind that you don't even realize are holding on to them. And if the dreams keep coming, no matter how much time passes, then that means they are still connected to you in a way that logic cannot explain. Now, let's talk about the dreams themselves. Sometimes they're peaceful. You see each other, you talk, you laugh, you share a moment that feels more real than reality itself. Other times, the dreams are emotional. Maybe you're chasing each other but never quite reaching, or maybe you feel their presence but can't see their face. These kinds of dreams often symbolize unresolved emotions, unfinished business, or a longing that exists between you. The mind has a way of speaking in symbols, and if this person appears in your dreams repeatedly, you need to ask yourself, what is my subconscious trying to tell me? But here's where it gets even deeper. Sometimes dreams aren't just dreams. Have you ever had a dream about someone only for them to tell you the next day that they were thinking about you? Or even more astonishing, that they had a dream about you too? When two people are connected on a soul level, their minds find ways to communicate beyond words, beyond time, beyond physical space. This is why some people report experiencing the same dreams as someone they are deeply bonded with. It's not just imagination, it's an unexplainable yet undeniable phenomenon. So the next time you wake up from a dream about them, don't just brush it off. And if they tell you they've been dreaming about you, don't ignore it. Dreams are messages, whispers from the subconscious, signs from the universe. And when two people keep appearing in each other's dreams, time and time again, that is something worth paying attention to. Have you ever been going about your day, minding your own business, when suddenly, out of nowhere, you feel a wave of sadness, or maybe an unexplainable burst of joy? And for a moment, you stop and wonder, why do I feel this way? There was no trigger, no event, no reason for the shift in your emotions. But deep down, you sense that it didn't just come from you, it came from them. That person who's been on your mind, that person who, no matter how much distance exists between you, always seems to have a hold on your energy. This is what we call emotional intuition, the ability to feel what someone else is feeling even when they are miles away. It's more than just empathy. It's a deep, unspoken connection that transcends physical presence. When you share a strong bond with someone, your emotions begin to intertwine, almost as if they are woven together by invisible threads. Their sadness becomes your sadness, their happiness your happiness. And it happens without effort, without intention. It just is. Think about those moments when you suddenly feel uneasy, anxious, or restless for no apparent reason. Then, later on, you find out that the very person you've been thinking about was going through something difficult at the exact same time. That is not just a coincidence. That is proof that your energies are aligned. The universe has a way of allowing certain people to remain connected no matter the time, no matter the distance. And when the connection is real, you don't need a phone call or a text to know when something is wrong. You feel it. It works the other way too. Ever had a day where you suddenly felt light, happy, as if something good was happening, only to later find out that the person you're connected to was experiencing a joyful moment? Maybe they accomplished something they had been working hard for. Maybe they finally felt at peace. And somehow, without knowing any of this, you picked up on it. That's because emotions are energy, and energy travels. When two people are in sync, their emotional states resonate with each other, even when they are not in the same room, the same city, or even the same country. And here's where it gets even deeper. Sometimes, you don't just feel their emotions, you start reacting to them as if they were your own. Maybe you feel like crying even though you have no reason to. Maybe you feel exhausted, as if you've been carrying the weight of something heavy, only to find out later that they had been going through a tough time. This happens because, on a subconscious level, you are carrying some of their emotional energy. It's not just about understanding their pain or their joy, it's about feeling it within yourself. Science might call it emotional contagion, the psychological phenomenon where emotions transfer between people. But when it happens with one particular person over and over again, with no logical explanation, it's something far more profound. This isn't just about picking up on someone's mood when they're standing next to you. This is about feeling them from a distance, knowing when they're hurting without them saying a word, sensing their excitement, even when they haven't shared their good news yet. This is intuition. This is energy. This is connection at its purest form. So, if you find yourself constantly experiencing emotions that seem to come from nowhere, pay attention. Ask yourself, is this mine or is this theirs? Because when you share a true deep connection with someone, you don't just think about them, you feel them. And that feeling, no matter how much time passes, no matter how much space separates you, never really fades. Have you ever noticed that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, reminders of them seem to pop up everywhere? Their name appears on billboards, street signs, or in random conversations between strangers. Their favorite song plays on the radio just when you're thinking about them. You stumble upon an old note, a memory, or even their scent in the air, completely out of the blue. At first, you might brush it off as coincidence, but when it keeps happening again and again, you have to stop and ask yourself, is the universe trying to tell me something? These signs are not random. They are moments of synchronicity, little nudges from the universe to pay attention. When you share a deep connection with someone, the world has a way of reflecting it back to you. It's as if the energy between you is so strong that it begins to manifest in the physical world. Some people call it fate, some call it divine timing. Whatever you name it, one thing is certain: when the same signs keep appearing, it's not just by chance. It's a message, a whisper from something greater than yourself, urging you to look closer. Think about this. You're walking through a bookstore, and out of nowhere you see their favorite book displayed right in front of you. Or maybe you're flipping through channels and suddenly a movie you once watched together is playing. These little moments aren't just coincidences. They are triggers, reminders that they are still a part of your energy field, still lingering in your subconscious, still woven into your story. And when these reminders come at the exact moment you're thinking about them, it's even more proof that your connection is alive, pulsing beneath the surface of everyday life. And then there's the number phenomenon. Have you ever kept seeing the same repeating numbers? 11, 11, 222, 444, right when you're thinking about them? These are called angel numbers, and many believe they carry deep spiritual meanings. In particular, 1111 is often associated with twin flames, soulmates, and divine alignment. If you keep seeing these numbers whenever thoughts of this person enter your mind, it could be a cosmic signal that your paths are meant to cross in ways you don't yet understand. But it's not just about numbers and symbols, it's about timing. How many times have you run into this person unexpectedly? How often do you both happen to be in the same place at the same time without planning it? The universe has a way of aligning two people when they are meant to be in each other's lives. These moments aren't just chance encounters. They are orchestrations, subtle hints that no matter how much you try to go your separate ways, something keeps pulling you back together. Even dreams can be signs. If you keep dreaming about them, especially in vivid, emotional ways, that's another way the universe communicates with you. Sometimes, dreams serve as a bridge between two souls, keeping them connected even when they are apart. If they appear in your dreams night after night, if the emotions in those dreams feel more real than your waking life, then that's something you shouldn't ignore. It's a sign that your connection isn't just lingering in your thoughts, it's alive in your subconscious, in your energy, in a space beyond logic and reason. So the next time you see their name, hear their song, or feel their presence when they're not around, don't dismiss it. These signs are not accidents. They are echoes of a connection that refuses to be forgotten. They are the universe's way of telling you that, whether you realize it or not, this person still holds a place in your life. And if the signs keep coming, no matter how much time passes, then maybe, just maybe, there's a reason why.
Have you ever looked at someone and just known what they were thinking? No words spoken, no gestures made, just a feeling, an unshakable knowing deep within you. It's like you're reading their mind, not through logic, but through something much deeper. This isn't just a simple connection. This is unspoken communication, an invisible thread between two people that allows them to understand each other without ever needing to say a word. And when you share this kind of connection with someone, it's a sign that your bond is unlike any other. This level of understanding doesn't come from years of conversation or shared experiences alone. It's something more instinctual, something felt rather than learned. Maybe you catch their eye across the room and immediately sense their mood, whether they're happy, anxious, or lost in thought. Maybe they text you at the exact moment you are about to reach out to them, almost as if they heard the conversation in your head. These moments aren't coincidences. They're proof of a connection that goes beyond words, beyond logic, beyond explanation. And it's not just about knowing when they're thinking about you. It's about feeling their emotions before they even express them. Have you ever sensed their sadness before they even admitted something was wrong, or felt their excitement before they had a chance to share their good news? This happens because when two people are deeply connected, their energies sync up in ways that defy explanation. Your intuition becomes sharp when it comes to them, and you pick up on things others might miss. It's almost as if you have a sixth sense, one that only works when it comes to them. Then there are the times when you finish each other's sentences, when the words that come out of your mouth match exactly what they were about to say. You're both thinking the same thought at the same time, reacting to the same moment in perfect harmony. It's eerie, isn't it? But it happens again and again, reinforcing that your minds aren't just similar, they're in sync. It's as if your thoughts are wired together, running parallel to each other without effort, without force. And let's not forget about body language. When you share an unspoken connection with someone, you don't need words to communicate. You feel their energy, you sense their emotions just by looking at them. You notice the smallest changes in their expressions, the subtle shifts in their tone, the way they hold themselves when something is weighing on their mind. Even when they try to hide it, you know. And the same happens in reverse. They can read you just as easily, picking up on things even when you don't say a word. Sometimes this connection is so strong that you can be in different places, living completely separate lives, and yet you still know when something is wrong. Maybe you suddenly feel uneasy, a tightness in your chest, a sense that something isn't quite right. Then later you find out they were struggling with something at the exact same time. It's as if your souls are still connected, still speaking to each other even when your mouths stay silent. This kind of bond doesn't happen with just anyone. It's rare, powerful, and undeniable. And if you find yourself experiencing this level of unspoken communication with someone, if you can hear their thoughts without them saying a word, if you can feel their emotions from miles away, if you just know when they need you, then that connection is something worth paying attention to. Because when words aren't needed but the message is still received, that's not just a bond, that's something far greater. Have you ever tried to walk away from someone, convinced that it was time to move on, only to find yourself drawn right back to them? No matter how much time passes, no matter how much distance separates you, there's something that keeps pulling you together. It's not just nostalgia. It's not just unresolved feelings. It's a force stronger than reason, deeper than logic. It's as if the universe refuses to let you forget each other, refuses to let you go your separate ways. This is what people call a magnetic pull, an invisible yet undeniable connection that keeps bringing two souls back into each other's orbit. You might try to distract yourself, bury yourself in work, surround yourself with new people, even convince yourself that you're over them, and yet they remain there, lingering in your mind like a song stuck on repeat. It's not that you choose to think about them, it just happens. Their name appears unexpectedly, their face flashes in your mind out of nowhere, and just when you think you've finally moved on, something or someone reminds you of them. A place you used to go together, a scent that smells just like them, a memory that resurfaces without warning. It's as if the universe keeps nudging you, whispering, "Not yet. There's still something here." And here's where it gets even more surreal. Sometimes, just as you start thinking about them again, they suddenly reach out. Maybe they send a message. Maybe you run into them unexpectedly. Maybe you hear about them through a mutual friend. But the timing is always uncanny, almost as if your thoughts summoned them back into your reality. That's not just a coincidence. That's the energy between you, still vibrating, still calling out to each other. Even when you try to ignore it, this connection doesn't just exist in your thoughts, it exists in them too. Have you ever noticed that no matter how much time passes, no matter what changes in life, when you see each other again, it's as if no time has passed at all? The conversation flows effortlessly. The energy between you feels familiar, comforting, right? It doesn't matter if you were apart for weeks, months, or even years. Something between you remains untouched, unchanged. That's because when two people share a deep connection, time is irrelevant. The bond remains, waiting, steady as ever. And it's not just about communication, it's about presence. Even when you're in a crowded room surrounded by dozens of people, somehow you always notice them first. Your eyes find them instinctively, your body turns toward them without conscious effort. It's a gravitational force, an energy that makes you aware of their presence before you even realize what's happening. And the same happens in reverse. You can feel when their eyes are on you even before you see them. It's as if your souls recognize each other in ways your mind cannot fully comprehend. But here's the thing about this kind of pull. It doesn't care about circumstance. It doesn't care if you've both tried to move on, if you've both chosen different paths, if you've convinced yourselves that you should be apart. No matter how much life tries to push you in different directions, something keeps bringing you back together. As if there's unfinished business, as if the story isn't over yet. It's an invisible force that refuses to be ignored, no matter how much you fight it. So when you feel that undeniable pull towards someone, when no matter what you do, they remain in your thoughts, in your energy, in the spaces of your life where they shouldn't still be, ask yourself, why? Because some connections are fleeting, meant to pass through your life like a passing storm, but others are meant to stay. And when the pull is strong enough to defy logic, to overcome distance, to persist against all odds, maybe that's a sign that this connection is something more. Something real, something that isn't ready to be forgotten. Have you ever found yourself dreaming about someone over and over again, even when you haven't seen or spoken to them in a long time? Maybe you wake up, heart racing, feeling as though they were right there with you. Maybe the dreams are vivid, emotional, filled with moments that feel more real than anything you've experienced in waking life. And even when you shake it off and go about your day, their presence lingers in the back of your mind. You wonder, why do they keep showing up in my dreams? What does it mean when someone occupies your subconscious so deeply that they continue to appear night after night? Dreams are not random. They are the subconscious mind's way of communicating with us, sending messages that we often overlook in our waking life. When a person consistently appears in your dreams, it's not just because your brain is pulling up old memories, it's because there is still an energetic tie between you. Your subconscious is trying to tell you something, trying to bring awareness to emotions, unfinished business, or a deeper connection that refuses to fade. And if the dreams are mutual, if they tell you that they have been dreaming about you too, then that is something even more profound. That is not just coincidence. That is synchronicity. Sometimes these dreams aren't just about the past. They can feel like glimpses into something that hasn't happened yet. Maybe you dream about running into them only to actually see them unexpectedly a few days later. Maybe you dream about a conversation that later plays out in real life, almost word for word. This is more than just the brain replaying old information. This is a sign of alignment, a connection that transcends time and space, something that exists on a level beyond what we fully understand. Some would call it intuition, others would call it a soul connection. Whatever name you give it, it's real. But it's not just about dreams at night. It's about the moments during the day when their presence suddenly invades your thoughts. Have you ever been doing something completely unrelated, working, driving, talking to someone else, when suddenly they pop into your mind for no reason at all? You weren't thinking about them, and yet there they are, as if some unseen force placed them directly into your consciousness. This isn't just nostalgia or random memory recall. Often when someone enters your thoughts unexpectedly, it's because they are thinking about you at the exact same time. This is what people call telepathic connection, when two people are so energetically linked that their thoughts and emotions travel between them without any physical communication. Have you ever texted them right as they were about to text you? Have you ever reached out to check on them only to hear them say, "I was just thinking about you"? This is not just chance. This is an unseen force, a connection that exists beyond words, beyond physical presence. It's the universe's way of keeping you linked, no matter how much time or space separates you. And then there are the moments when you hear their voice in your head. Maybe you recall something they once told you, something that suddenly makes sense in a way it never did before. Or maybe you actually hear them like an echo of their voice in your mind, guiding you, reminding you of who they are, what they mean to you. It's not just a memory, it's them reaching you in a way that can't be explained. Some connections are so strong that they imprint themselves into your subconscious, remaining there, speaking to you, even when the world is silent. So if you find yourself dreaming about them, thinking about them without reason, hearing their voice in your mind, don't dismiss it. These are not meaningless coincidences. These are signs, messages from something deeper than the conscious mind. Reminders that no matter how much you try to move on, no matter how much life pulls you in different directions, the connection between you is still there. And when someone continues to show up in your subconscious, when they refuse to leave the spaces of your mind, maybe it's because they are still meant to be there.
Have you ever woken up feeling a sudden wave of sadness, anxiety, or even joy without any clear reason why? As if an emotion hit you out of nowhere, as if it didn't even belong to you? And then later that day you find out that they were feeling that exact same way at the exact same time? This isn't just empathy, this is something deeper. This is an emotional echo. When your connection with someone is so strong that their emotions ripple through you, even when you're not together. It's an invisible bond that allows you to feel what they feel, even when no words are spoken. This kind of connection goes beyond simple understanding. You don't just recognize their emotions, you absorb them. You feel their happiness as if it were your own. Their pain weighs on you like it's happening to you. And the strangest part? You don't always realize where these feelings are coming from. Maybe you're having a perfectly normal day when suddenly a sense of longing washes over you, a heaviness in your chest, an unshakable feeling that something isn't right. And then, out of nowhere, you get a message from them, or you hear about something they went through that perfectly matches what you felt. It's like your hearts are having a conversation beyond words, beyond distance, beyond reason. And it's not just negative emotions, it's the good ones too. Have you ever had a moment where you suddenly felt warm, peaceful, or happy, even when there was no clear reason for it? Like a quiet reassurance settled over you, like you weren't alone? Maybe at that exact moment they were thinking about you, remembering something that made them smile. It's as if the love, the care, the connection between you radiates through the unseen, reaching you even when you're far apart. This isn't just imagination, it's real. It's the energy between you still moving, still alive, still pulling you together. Science calls this quantum entanglement. The idea that two particles can be connected in such a way that when one changes, the other responds instantly, no matter the distance. And while science has only scratched the surface of what this means for human emotions, anyone who's ever experienced this kind of connection knows it to be true. You don't need proof when you've felt it. When you've experienced moments where your emotions sync with theirs without explanation. Some people might call it telepathy, some might call it destiny. Whatever name you give it, one thing is clear. When someone's emotions live inside you as if they are your own, that's not just a connection. That's a bond that defies space and time. And let's talk about the moments when you think you're over them, when you convince yourself that you've moved on, only to be hit with an overwhelming wave of emotion out of nowhere. You weren't thinking about them, you weren't even focused on the past, and yet something shifts inside you. A sudden tightness in your chest, a wave of nostalgia, a deep longing you can't explain. And then, later, you find out that they were thinking about you at that exact moment. Maybe they were reminiscing. Maybe they were missing you. Maybe they were even on the verge of reaching out, but held back, and somehow you felt it. It's the reason why, even when life takes you in separate directions, even when you try to close that chapter, something keeps you tied to them. Their emotions still touch you. Their energy still lingers in your world. It's not just that you shared a history, it's that the connection never truly faded. It's still there, running like an undercurrent beneath everything, making itself known in the quiet moments when you least expect it. So, when you find yourself experiencing emotions that don't seem to belong to you, when you sense their joy, their sadness, their longing as if it were your own, don't ignore it. This is more than just memory, more than just a lingering attachment. This is proof that your connection is still alive, that no matter how much time passes, no matter how far apart you may be, the bond between you remains unbroken. So now, I ask you, how many of these signs have you felt? How many times have you caught yourself lost in a thought that wasn't yours? Feeling an emotion that didn't belong to you, sensing a presence that was nowhere to be seen? How many times have you tried to move on, only to be pulled back by something stronger than reason, stronger than logic? Because here's the truth. Connections like this don't just disappear. They don't fade with time. They don't weaken with distance. And they sure as hell don't break just because life gets in the way. When two souls are tied together, when they truly see each other, feel each other, understand each other beyond words, no force in this world can erase that. You can ignore it. You can run from it. You can try to convince yourself that it's all in your head, but deep down you know the truth. You feel it in your bones. This is not just a fleeting connection. This is something rare, something powerful, something that defies all explanation. And that's why no matter how much time passes, no matter how much life changes, you will always feel their presence. In your thoughts, in your dreams, in the quiet moments when the world is still and your mind drifts to a place you thought you left behind. Because some bonds are unbreakable, some connections are timeless. So if you've felt this, if you've experienced the hidden signs, the unspoken words, the undeniable pull, don't ignore it. Don't brush it aside. A connection like this is not an accident. It's a reminder that in a world full of fleeting moments, some things are meant to last.